MongooseJake here with my next episode of Blaster Throwback, which is, again, my series that was inspired by Walcom's Tagback series, but with my own spin on things featuring blasters that I personally wanted to get a little bit of the spotlight shown on here on my channel. And this time, I'm going to be looking at the Nerf Barrel Break, which of course was actually a fairly long-running blaster. It started way back in the N-Strike series, and it kept going even as a Target exclusive in this Sonic Fire version, which you see me holding. I also do have the Sonic Green version. These are the only two I have. I actually wouldn't mind getting a hold of the original yellow version, as well as it was released in a blue Elite color scheme. It never was put out as an Elite blaster. It uses the reverse plunger tube system, which is kind of crazy to see dual reverse plunger tubes inside of a blaster. And no, this thing is not a high-performance blaster. I'm not going to be speaking accolades about how this thing was a absolute beast and needed to be continued on in production, and absolutely was, overlooked. That's a whole different series I do, the overlooked and underappreciated blasters. That's not where this is going to go. My Blaster Throwback series doesn't necessarily mean the blaster was awesome. Just means I thought it was neat, and I want to look at it. And that's the case with this. This was not a good blaster. This was not a super easy to use blaster. It's just neat, and sometimes that's all a toy has to be. Because keep in mind, we're all kids, teenagers, adults playing with toys. Yeah, we can get serious about it. We can modify them, make them shoot 250, 300 feet per second, and be able to hit somebody, a football field away. But it all comes down to it, we're doing it for fun. And this thing is fun, even if it had an extremely convoluted priming system. And let's just take a second here to watch this. I'm going to grab two darts, because this is a double-barreled cut-off shotgun. But now, it did get one thing right, it was ambidextrous. But let's watch how you actually have to use this thing for those of you who have never used one. You have to hit one of the levers. Again, I said it was ambidextrous. You have a lever here on the right side as well as on the left. You have to depress that, pull the barrel out, push the barrel down. Now take your two darts, one into that barrel, one into that barrel, pull the barrel back up, push the barrels back in, and now you're ready to fire 1 and 2. And then do the process all over again. Push one of the levers down, pull the barrel out, push the barrel down, grab two darts out of my dart net over here, put them in the barrels, shove them in, barrels up, barrels in, and shotgun blast. And yes, it has a two-stage trigger. You can fire one barrel at a time or both instantly. It's great at close range, but you don't have any follow-up shots. So it's literally just for fun, just for a challenge, or as a last ditch, and that's it. It is fun though. The whole system of doing all that and then firing off, it's fun. It's kind of neat, especially being able to see all of the movement, because there's a lot of inner workings in there with levers and cams and gears, moving the dual reverse plunger systems. And reverse plunger systems have a little bit more going on in them anyways. But with everything going on in there, it's kind of neat to see the mechanical inner workings. And no, this is not a very good performance blaster. It will fire basically enough to shoot across the living room, and nothing more. And there's not a whole lot more to be gotten out of this. You can partially do a sleeper breach on this with brassing the breeches. You can upgrade the springs. You can do a dead space removal. You can knock out the air restrictors. You can do all of that. And you might gain a few feet. It's a lot of work put into very little gain. But that's not what this whole thing's about. These things are about a blaster that's just fun, weird, awkward even. But they're fun to use. I mean, doing that, and then now try to dual wield one. That's, and then now 4 shots. It's funny. It would be completely impractical to do that, but basically, what finally killed this, and I mean absolutely murdered it in cold, foamy murderous evilness was the Rough Cut. The Rough Cut showed up before this was completely gone, but basically once the Rough Cut showed up, you had the sawed-off form factor, the sawed-off shotgun form factor, but in a front-loaded pump-action blaster that held 8 darts and had the same dual-stage trigger with much improved performance, and then there was basically no longer a reason to ever purchase this. Unless you're like me and you just like goofy blasters and you actually wish that Nerf would reintroduce this with a true direct plunger tube system instead of reverse. And I would love to see that happen. That, I know it sounds completely impractical, but it would still be a fun blaster today. And if the 2 shots you had were reasonably effective, it would be good. I actually like the Busby double shots. Love them, actually. Because I can modify the shells and get reasonable performance, and I'll run around just for the heck of it in a stock war with just those things. And yeah, once in a while I'll get somebody. And that's hilarious. And that's where these come in. I have ran these and actually gotten a couple of people here and there. And yeah, I mean, I get hit way more than I ever get anybody, but that's, the goofiness is fun for me. And that's what the barrel break is in today's day and age. It's completely impractical, terrible performance, horrible rate of fire, but yet I actually like the thing. And that's, if you got to know me, that's where you're going to find out. Yeah, I absolutely love completely practical blasters that have no nonsense, no frills. Something like a interceptor that I know can outperform, you know, most all the Nerf blasters. I like that for the very practical reasons, but I also like stuff like this for completely off-the-wall and practical reasons, just because it's goofy. And that's what this series is about. I just wanted to show you guys why I like this blaster. And maybe if you hadn't ever seen one, hadn't ever used one, maybe now if you spot one out there in a yard sale, a garage sale, or in a thrift store, you might just want to pick the thing up just because, hey, what the heck, why not? Have a little fun with it. And you never know. Run into war sometime, and you can absolutely laugh your head off if you get somebody out with one of these. But again, this is Blaster Throwback with MongooseJake featuring the Nerf Barrel Break. A absolutely impractical, underperforming blaster that's still just simply fun. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it.